Prague. Once again, this is a take two, but you'll never know about those. I've realised, listening back to the videos, that you can often hear Martin washing up in the background. That's quite funny. Aren't I lucky to have someone that washes up for me every day? But then he does have me cooking for him every day, which is wonderful, even though it's vegan. Well, we arrived at Prague 2 days ago. I'll take you out in a minute and show you where we are. A really nice spot by the river. Very happy with it. Just a short tram journey into the centre. We discovered you have to put a muzzle on your dog, which we hadn't expected. We've never done that before, but a lady showed me how to put a pretend one on, which is just looping around the lead over the little nose and pretending that it's a muzzle. He could have got out of it at any minute. He was so good about it. In fact, I was feeding him pieces of cheese on the tube because I felt so guilty, but he was absolutely fine with it, bless him. When we got there, there are supposed to be a lot of vegan places, but we got completely lost really straight away. Not literally lost, we knew where we had to get the tram back again. But the alphabet looks different, all the signposts look different. In fact, even the metro, I couldn't figure out how Martin knew where we were going to get off, because where it says we are and where it says we're going to stop doesn't link up with what you actually see out the window when you stop, and it doesn't link up with the route on, they display on the tube about where your place is going to stop. So Martin must have been understanding it slightly different from me, because he could figure it out, but I couldn't. So we were in a very sort of confused mood when we got there, and we ended up just going into a traditional Czech restaurant, because one thing I do miss being a vegan is so many of the vegan places are sort of new agey, futuristic type scenarios run by young people. They could almost be in any city or any town anywhere, whereas going to a good old Czech or German pub with the menu and you see all the locals in there, you get a feeling of the culture and the tradition. I am beginning to miss that a bit. So we did go to one of those places, but funnily enough, Martin ended up having a New York burger, because that's what he fancied. And there was, again, nothing really on the menu for me, so this is what I had. A tomato soup, some bread, without the butter obviously, a bowl of delicious roasted almonds, which I threw into the soup, and some chips, and a pint of beer. So a nicely rounded meal, I'm sure you'll agree. So we are going to try and mix and match a little bit more, which is how it is, isn't it? If you've got a certain vegan, dietary preferences, you've got to compromise and sort of go with other people. That doesn't mean I'm going to eat other things, but every now and then I will have to have bread and chips and nuts as a meal, But that's fine, and I really enjoyed it. And when we got home, I made gado from that jar that I got from vegans, and I discovered gado actually means mix. So you're supposed to throw in any salad. The idea is it's a hot peanut sauce over a cold salad with hot potatoes in. I didn't bother about the tempeh this time. In fact, I'd forgotten I even needed tempeh, and it was delicious. But we didn't like the sauce as much as my sauce, which I made from scratch, which had spice and some hot stuff, and so that was nice. It's nice when your sauce is actually better than one you buy in a jar, isn't it? It doesn't happen to me very often. So that was one thing. People who follow me on Facebook will know that I got badly lost trying to find the swimming pool in Zittau. I think it was shortly after I uploaded the last video, and SatNav had no idea where we were, so we just put the van down in a side street, and I plunged off thinking it was just around the corner. It wasn't, and it was all very difficult to get there and to get back, and I was starving on the way back. And what was I fantasizing about? Chicken wings, the American sort that's beautifully crusted with those hot, spicy, barbecue chicken wings and honey chicken wings, which is really weird because I haven't had them very often. I must say I really enjoyed them. Pip's looking like he's going to pounce at something. What's the matter, Pip? Martin? Look, he's looking like he's seen something. I don't know what's out there. We trust Pip with the door open now, but we never know whether he's going to suddenly leap off into the wild unknown. So yeah, it was a bit odd. You notice your cravings. Chicken wings. Where did that come from? I don't seriously miss them. Very odd. So when I got back to the van, I had my leftovers from the night before and a piece of my pumpkin bread, and I was absolutely fine. I must say though, I've got to start thinking more about not putting added oil and things like that with my food, because my weight isn't really carrying on going down now. It's sort of staying the same, even suggesting a little upward movement. So I'm going to try not doing any added oil, which if you look into like vegans, they still die of heart attacks and things because of just what oil they do have, even if it's coconut oil. So I'm going to see if I can prepare my food like water frying rather than stir frying, and see how we go. And today I had one of those rolls which I got from Vegans, which you put, you know, heat up in the oven. I put it in my little Dutch oven. It was lovely to have a normal white roll. The butter, my vegan butter's gone off now because I've had it for so long, and I realised I don't actually need butter anymore and I don't miss it. So I put a nice dollop of strawberry jam in the middle of my white roll, and it was lovely. It was so nice to occasionally have like what used to be normal food for me. And I must say, I've sort of slotted into my winter way of eating now. I woke up this morning, I didn't particularly want to drink. I had a cup of black tea, like I always do, or I've gone back to black tea now, by the way. I can manage it without the milk. We'd finished our oat milk, that's why. Got up, didn't fancy making a juice or a blend this morning. Shock horror. I just had a white roll with strawberry jam. So what is the world coming to? This is not very good. I've got to get back onto this more health thing. I guess I'm craving more carbs now it's cold. Which is how it is, isn't it? So it's interesting to notice, you know, how your body changes with the seasons. And today we're going to a restaurant called, oh, look, Pip, Martin is just about to go again. I don't know what he's looking at. Oh, I think it's a fly. Yeah, we're going to go to a vegan restaurant called Prague Vegan, which claims to have international and Czech vegan meals, including Czech dumplings, which I'd love to have and see how they're made. So I shall have to report back on that. So that said, I shall now take you outside and show you where we are. Here's Pip, who's got his eyes glued on something out there. What are you looking at, Pip? What can you see out there? Now, this is outside our van. As you can see, we're right on the river here. Absolutely gorgeous. We see rowing and sculling up and down, and because we're in a city, there are always lots of camper vans in these fairly cheap places. They all line up like this. We've just had one right here that's gone. And then you get the tram or the train or the tube or the bus into town, 20 minutes. We've done this so many times now, and it works out really, really well. Really helpful people here. We have to buy winter tyres as of next week in Czech Republic. Everyone has to have winter tyres, which was a bit of a shock for us, so we've had to find somewhere who will fit them for us, and nowhere spoke English, so it was really difficult. Luckily the receptionist took pity on us and booked us up some tyres, but from our research the tyres she's booked us up with don't seem to be the best ones for skiing, so we've got to go back and get her to ring them up again and try and sort out some better quality ones. There's always a different sort of problem every day. Yesterday it was the winter tyres and the muzzle on Pip, because we have to have it on the underground, but he was awfully good with it. It was only pretend muzzle anyway. It was just a loop of his lead. You're going to see a scull boat pass there in a minute. There it goes. Lovely. So yes, I felt sorry for him, kept giving him bits of cheese through it. It wasn't a real muzzle, it was just a loop of the lead. But there we are. So we're off to Prague Castle later. It's very exciting for a walking tour. And I shall report back. Hopefully I might try and give a on location video at Prague Vegan, the restaurant. Bye then.